Have you ever considered the power of keeping your true intentions hidden? In a world where transparency is celebrated as a virtue, the idea of secrecy can feel counterintuitive, even manipulative. Yet, Niccolò Machiavelli offers a radically different perspective, one where concealing your true motives is not an act of dishonesty, but a strategic weapon for survival, power, and control. To reveal your plans too soon is to hand your enemies the very weapons they need to destroy you. But to conceal your intentions is to safeguard your destiny, maintaining authority over your own path. Machiavelli understood that knowledge is power, but what's even more powerful is controlling who has access to that knowledge. The moment you reveal your true intentions, you expose yourself to sabotage, criticism, and manipulation. When others know what you're planning, they have the chance to counter your moves, block your ambitions, or even claim your ideas as their own. By keeping your intentions hidden, you shift the balance of power, making yourself unpredictable while forcing everyone else into a state of uncertainty. But why does secrecy hold such power? The answer lies in the human mind. People fear what they cannot understand. When others are left guessing, they become paralyzed by their own uncertainty. They waste time speculating, making assumptions, and second-guessing your actions, all while you quietly move forward with your plans. This uncertainty makes your opponents defensive, hesitant, and vulnerable, giving you the upper hand without ever having to lift a finger. Yet secrecy isn't just a defensive tool, it's an offensive strategy. When you conceal your true intentions, you create the illusion that you are predictable, harmless, or even disinterested. Meanwhile, behind the veil of mystery, you can carefully orchestrate your next move. This tactic allows you to strike when others least expect it, catching them off guard and leaving them powerless to respond. History's greatest leaders, Napoleon, Julius Caesar, and even modern business tycoons, have all wielded secrecy as their greatest weapon, playing the long game while their enemies played checkers. But secrecy goes even deeper than strategy. It's about freedom. When your intentions are hidden, you are not bound by promises, expectations, or public scrutiny. You can pivot, adapt, and shift your plans without anyone knowing. The moment you reveal your goals, you become a prisoner to them. Others will hold you accountable, criticize your progress, or pressure you to stay on course, even if that course no longer serves your best interests. Concealing your intentions grants you the flexibility to evolve without interference, allowing you to rewrite your destiny in real time. Machiavelli also understood the psychological power of mystery. People are naturally drawn to those who reveal little. The less you say, the more others will project their own ideas onto you, creating an aura of wisdom, strength, and depth. Those who speak too freely often undermine their own authority. They expose their weaknesses, their uncertainties, and their need for validation. Meanwhile, those who master the art of silence command respect without ever having to demand it. But this principle is not about deception. It's about selective transparency. Machiavelli does not advocate for lying or manipulation. Instead, he teaches that you should reveal only what serves your interests, never more, never less. A skilled strategist knows how to offer just enough information to build trust, while always keeping the full picture hidden. This creates a web of half-truths, where others believe they understand your motives but remain blind to your ultimate goals. This delicate balance between honesty and secrecy allows you to guide others without ever appearing controlling. You give them the illusion of insight while holding the true power in your hands. In this way, you become both trusted and feared, a combination that makes you virtually untouchable. In our modern world, this principle is more relevant than ever. Politicians craft public personas while hiding their true agendas. CEOs announce their visions while keeping their next moves secret. Even social media influencers curate their lives, revealing only what serves their brand, while concealing the chaos behind the scenes. Those who control information control perception, and perception is the foundation of power. But secrecy is not without its price. It can be a lonely path, one that demands self-discipline, patience, and unwavering confidence. To master this art, you must resist the temptation to seek validation or share your triumphs too soon. You must learn to find strength in silence, to let others underestimate you while you quietly build your empire behind closed doors. So ask yourself, how much power have you given away by revealing too much? Every word you speak, every plan you announce, every thought you share is a thread in the web that binds you. Are you weaving your own trap? Or are you spinning a web that only you can see? Machiavelli's message is clear. Those who reveal nothing hold everything. To embrace this philosophy is not to reject honesty, but to understand that truth is not owed to everyone. Power is not taken by force. It is claimed through strategy. The next time you feel the urge to announce your intentions, to seek approval, or to share your ambitions, pause. Ask yourself, what power could I gain by staying silent? Because in the game of power, the greatest moves are made in the shadows. If concealing your intentions is the first law of power, then deception is the weapon that bends reality itself. Machiavelli believed that to influence others without force, one must master the art of guiding perceptions, without ever appearing deceptive. Deception is not merely about lying, it is about allowing others to believe what benefits you. The most powerful lies are built on fragments of truth, carefully arranged to create a false impression. At the heart of Machiavellian deception lies a profound understanding of human psychology. People crave certainty. When information is incomplete, the mind fills in the gaps, often with assumptions and desires. The master deceiver does not force others to believe lies. Instead, they plant seeds of doubt, offering selective truths that lead others to mislead themselves. This is why deception works best when it feels natural. When the illusion arises not from your words, but from the minds of those you seek to control. Machiavelli warned that honesty is rarely rewarded in the pursuit of power. People trust appearances more than reality. A leader who appears virtuous will inspire loyalty, even if their true motives are selfish. The key is to blend truth with falsehood so seamlessly that no one can tell where one ends and the other begins. By carefully revealing what serves your interests and concealing what threatens them, you can create an illusion of transparency while keeping your true intentions hidden. But deception is not simply about hiding the truth, it is about shaping the truth. Imagine a chess game where every move is designed to lead your opponent into a trap. You sacrifice small pieces, feign weakness, and make your rival feel confident, all while guiding them toward inevitable defeat. This subtle manipulation is the hallmark of the Machiavellian mind, winning not through brute force, but through the unseen hand that guides others without ever revealing itself. Yet, deception carries risks. The careless liar is easily exposed. Machiavelli knew that the best deceivers are those who maintain a spotless reputation for honesty. To deceive effectively, you must never give others a reason to doubt your sincerity. Appear humble, act with virtue, and always tell the truth when it serves your interests, so that when you do mislead, no one will ever suspect. In a world driven by self-interest, deception becomes a form of survival. The harsh truth is that those who refuse to deceive often fall prey to those who do. Whether in politics, business, or personal relationships, those who master deception gain an invisible advantage, guiding outcomes without ever appearing to manipulate. This is not cynicism, it is simply understanding the game that everyone is already playing. However, Machiavelli's philosophy is not without morality. Deception can protect your ambitions, but it can also shield others from painful truths. The most skilled deceivers are not always the cruelest. They are often the most merciful, offering illusions that preserve harmony while quietly pursuing their own vision. To deceive is not to betray, it is to survive. The question is not whether you will deceive, but whether you will deceive consciously or be deceived blindly. In a world built on illusions, those who refuse to play the game are not noble, they are powerless. The art of deception is the art of control. Those who guide perception shape the destiny of others without ever revealing their own. If concealment is the art of withholding your intentions, then disguise is the art of shaping how others perceive you. Machiavelli believed that appearances hold far greater influence than reality itself. People rarely seek the truth. They seek comfort, order, and certainty. Those who understand this weakness can bend the perceptions of others like clay in their hands. To master the art of disguise is to become both visible and invisible at once. Always present, yet never truly seen. The greatest power lies not in what you are, but in what others believe you to be. The world is built on illusions, and those who craft the most convincing masks rule from the shadows. A gentle smile, a modest tone, or an act of false humility can disarm suspicion and lull others into complacency. Machiavelli understood that the most dangerous enemies are not those who wield swords openly, but those who appear incapable of holding one. Disguise is not simply about hiding your true nature. It is about projecting the version of yourself that best serves your ambitions. If the situation demands loyalty, become the devoted follower. If it calls for weakness, display vulnerability. If others seek leadership, rise as a guide. By shifting your persona to meet the expectations of those around you, you create a web of false identities, each one tailored to manipulate a different mind. But disguise requires patience. The most convincing masks are those built over time, layer by layer. People trust what they see consistently, not what is shown in fleeting moments. A single act of humility will raise suspicion, but a lifetime of carefully curated modesty will make others lower their guard completely. Machiavelli warned that the greatest deceivers live inside their masks, wearing them so convincingly that even their closest allies fail to see the truth. However, the power of disguise goes beyond personal deception. It is a weapon that can be used to divide and manipulate entire groups. By playing different roles for different people, you can turn allies against each other without ever lifting a finger. Confide in one person while dismissing another. Show loyalty to one faction while subtly undermining another. In the chaos of divided loyalties, only the puppet master remains untouched. Yet disguise is not without danger. The longer you wear the mask, the harder it becomes to remember who you truly are. Machiavelli warned that those who master deception must always protect their own sense of self. The mask must remain a tool, not a prison. The greatest trick is to deceive the entire world without ever losing sight of your own reflection. But the rewards of disguise are limitless. To control how others see you is to control their actions, without ever giving a direct command. A well-placed lie or a carefully crafted rumor can steer entire lives along paths of your choosing. The greatest victories are won not through force, but through the silent manipulation of perception. Machiavelli understood that the true masters of power do not seek to be loved or feared. They seek to be misunderstood. They allow others to underestimate them, to dismiss them as weak or harmless, while secretly orchestrating every move from behind the curtain. The greatest triumphs come not from open conquest, but from leaving others unaware that they were ever manipulated at all. But the art of disguise is not just about deceiving others, it is about mastering yourself. Those who learn to wear the mask without becoming the mask gain a level of control that few ever achieve. They move through life unseen, unchallenged, and untouched. Always present, always watching, but never truly known. In the end, Machiavelli's greatest lesson is this: the world will never fear what it cannot see, and it will never fight what it does not understand. Those who learn to shape appearances become the hidden rulers of destiny, pulling the strings from the shadows while the world watches only the masks they choose to reveal. If deception is the art of reshaping truth, then silence is the armor that protects power from exposure. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that what you do not say is often more powerful than what you do. In a world where words are freely given, those who master the art of silence gain an invisible advantage. Silence is not passivity, it is a calculated weapon that forces others to reveal their intentions first. Why is silence so powerful? The answer lies in control. When you speak, you give away pieces of your mind, your thoughts, emotions, and plans. But when you withhold your words, you create an unsettling void. Others are left guessing your intentions, projecting their own fears onto your silence. Uncertainty breeds fear, and fear breeds power. The less others know about your true desires, the more they will try to decipher your mind, giving you the upper hand without ever lifting a finger. Machiavelli saw silence as a tool to provoke confession without interrogation. When you say nothing, others feel the need to fill the void with their own words. This self-imposed pressure often leads them to reveal more than they intended. The silent man becomes the silent judge, silently weighing every word without revealing his own position. It is not the loudest voice that wins, it is the one who listens the longest. But silence is not simply the absence of speech. It is a strategy of patience. The greatest manipulators know that information is power, and the best way to gather information is to let others talk while you observe. People love to talk about themselves, especially when they feel safe. By remaining silent, you encourage others to expose their plans, fears, and weaknesses without ever realizing they are doing so. However, silence is not without risk. If used too often, it can create suspicion. The trick is to balance silence with selective words. A single, well-timed sentence can dispel doubt and shift entire conversations. The key is to speak rarely, but when you do, every word must carry weight. Machiavelli believed that a carefully placed phrase could shape the thoughts of others more effectively than a long speech. Silence also protects you from your own emotions. Words spoken in anger or impulse often lead to regret. The Machiavellian strategist understands that silence is the best defense against self-sabotage. By pausing before speaking, you give yourself time to calculate the consequences of every word. This control creates an aura of calm authority, making you appear more composed and intelligent than those who react without thinking. Yet silence is not only a defensive weapon, it is an offensive one. The silent man can plant doubt without ever making an accusation. A single pause at the right moment can make others question their own actions. The absence of words creates a vacuum that others fill with speculation, rumors, and paranoia. The most powerful moves in the game of power are often those that leave no fingerprints behind. But silence is not for the weak. It requires discipline, patience, and the ability to endure discomfort. Most people fear silence because it exposes their own insecurities. To master silence, you must first master yourself, resisting the urge to defend, explain, or seek validation. Those who break silence too quickly reveal their own anxieties. Those who hold their tongue project strength. However, silence alone is not enough. Machiavelli warned that a silent man without action is merely forgotten. Silence must be paired with precision. When you finally choose to speak, your words must carry the weight of everything left unsaid. A single sentence, delivered at the right moment, can reshape alliances, destroy reputations, or inspire loyalty. The greatest leaders speak rarely, but when they do, the world listens. In the end, silence is not simply the absence of noise, it is the art of control. It teaches patience, observation, and restraint. The silent observer sees what others miss, waits when others rush, and acts only when the time is right. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, those who listen without speaking become the unseen rulers, always calculating, always one step ahead. To master silence is to master power. Speak little, observe much, and remember, what you do not reveal can never be used against you. If disguise is the mask that hides your intentions, trust is the invisible chain that binds others to your will. Machiavelli believed that the greatest power does not come from force or fear alone. It comes from making others willingly surrender their own autonomy. Trust is the softest weapon in the arsenal of manipulation, yet its impact is far more profound than any act of open domination. Those who master the art of manipulating trust can rule without ever appearing to rule at all. Trust is built on perception, not truth. People crave the illusion of safety and seek those who offer them reassurance, even if that reassurance is hollow. Machiavelli understood that the key to controlling others lies in becoming the person they want to believe in. The world rewards those who appear honest, loyal, and selfless, even when these virtues are nothing but carefully crafted performances. However, the true art of manipulating trust lies not in earning it, but in weaponizing it. To gain someone's trust is to hold the keys to their mind. Once trust is secured, their defenses fall away, and their judgment becomes clouded. The trusted figure can plant ideas, guide decisions, and even influence desires, all while the victim remains blissfully unaware of the strings being pulled. But trust is not won through empty promises. It is won through calculated sacrifice. Machiavelli taught that the greatest deceivers are those who appear to put others before themselves. A small act of selflessness, a gesture of loyalty, or a well-timed apology can create an illusion of unwavering integrity. People are far more likely to trust those who seem willing to suffer for their cause, never realizing that such sacrifices are carefully orchestrated investments in long-term manipulation. Yet, the most powerful form of trust is not blind devotion, it is selective trust. Those who manipulate trust do not seek the loyalty of everyone, they target key individuals. Those with influence, knowledge, or access to power. By winning the trust of a few, they gain control over the many. The servant who whispers into the king's ear holds far more power than the king himself. but trust is fragile, and once broken, it can never fully be restored. This is why Machiavelli advised that the greatest manipulators never betray trust openly. Instead, they plant doubt in the minds of others, turning suspicion away from themselves. They frame their betrayals as misunderstandings, unfortunate circumstances, or even necessary sacrifices for the greater good. The victim is left questioning their own judgment rather than the loyalty of their manipulator. However, trust is not simply a tool for control, it is also a shield. Those who are trusted are rarely suspected. The trusted figure can move freely through circles of power, gathering information and influencing outcomes without ever raising alarm. Machiavelli understood that the greatest crimes are committed not by those feared as enemies, but by those welcomed as friends. But manipulating trust is not without danger. The more trust one gains, the greater the risk of exposure. A single misstep can shatter years of carefully constructed illusions. This is why the true masters of manipulation always maintain multiple layers of trust. They create webs of half-truths, playing different roles for different people, ensuring that no one ever sees the full picture. Yet, the most profound aspect of trust manipulation is how it reshapes the minds of those under its influence. Over time, the victim begins to align their own desires with those of the manipulator, believing that the thoughts implanted in their minds were their own all along. This is the highest form of control, not forcing someone to obey, but making them choose obedience willingly. Machiavelli's philosophy teaches that trust is the ultimate illusion. It is the lie that binds society together, the fragile thread upon which empires are built. Those who understand its power can bend the wills of others without ever lifting a sword. They become invisible kings, rulers not through force, but through quiet whispers and carefully planted doubts. In the end, the world does not belong to those who seek trust. It belongs to those who manipulate it. The greatest masters of power move unseen, wrapping others in invisible chains of loyalty while remaining forever beyond suspicion. Those who learn to manipulate trust do not simply control people, they control the very fabric of reality itself. If silence is the armor of power, then concealing your true intentions is the sword that strikes without warning. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that the greatest advantage in any pursuit is not what others know about you, but what they think they know. The ability to disguise your desires while manipulating how others perceive you is not simply a trick, it is the very essence of power itself. To conceal your intentions is to build a fortress around your mind, hiding your true desires beneath layers of calculated deception. People crave certainty, and they trust what they see on the surface. The trick is to offer them a carefully curated version of yourself, one that satisfies their need for understanding while protecting your hidden agenda. The greatest deception is not in what you say, but in what you allow others to believe. Why is this concealment so powerful? It grants you the ability to dictate the narrative without ever revealing your true hand. When others believe they know your plans, they attempt to predict your actions. But by cloaking your real intentions, you disrupt their calculations, leaving them vulnerable to manipulation. Uncertainty breeds fear, and fear creates power. Those who cannot predict your next move are forever at your mercy. However, concealing your intentions is not simply about withholding the truth. It is about creating false trails. The most skilled deceivers guide others toward the wrong conclusions while quietly advancing their true objectives. Machiavelli understood that the best lies are built on fragments of truth. By blending honesty with deception, you create illusions so convincing that others never question them. But deception requires patience. The greatest manipulators do not strike immediately. They plant seeds of trust long before betrayal ever crosses their minds. They adopt masks of loyalty and friendship, earning the confidence of those they one day intend to undermine. This slow, methodical approach makes the eventual betrayal feel all the more devastating, because it comes from someone believed to be an ally. Yet concealment is not merely a tool for betrayal, it is a weapon of influence. When others are uncertain about your motives, they become easier to control. They seek clarity, offering up their own secrets in the hope of understanding yours. This exchange grants you the upper hand without ever needing to reveal your own plans. The greatest masters of power encourage others to speak while remaining unreadable themselves. However, the danger of deception is suspicion. If others sense that you are hiding something, they will begin to question every word and action. That is why Machiavelli advised that the most effective deceivers are those who appear to have nothing to hide. The illusion of honesty is the ultimate camouflage. Confess minor flaws, reveal harmless secrets, and show selective vulnerability. These small sacrifices make others believe they have seen the real you. But the art of concealment goes beyond simple secrecy. It is about misdirection. The most skilled manipulators create distractions, drawing attention to one hand while acting with the other. They manufacture conflicts, stir rumors, or play the role of the humble servant, diverting suspicion while quietly orchestrating their plans behind the scenes. What others see is never what truly matters, only what they fail to notice. Yet concealment demands discipline. The urge to boast or seek validation is the greatest enemy of deception. Machiavelli warned that the most dangerous players are those who resist the temptation to reveal their victories. Every secret you share becomes a weapon that can be turned against you. Those who speak too soon sabotage their own power, while those who wait become untouchable. However, concealing your intentions is not simply about hiding. It is about controlling the flow of information. The greatest deceivers plant subtle hints, allowing others to piece together false conclusions without ever realizing they are being manipulated. A well-placed rumor, a fleeting smile, or a carefully timed silence can shape entire outcomes without leaving a trace. But deception is not without risk. If you play the role too well, you risk isolating yourself. The key is to maintain a delicate balance, offering just enough truth to keep others invested while never exposing your deeper motives. Those who master this balance become invisible architects of power, always present, always pulling the strings, yet never truly seen. Yet the most profound power of concealment lies in its effect on the self. When you reveal nothing, you become unpredictable, not only to others, but to yourself. The act of hiding your desires forces you to master your own impulses. You learn to act without seeking validation, to plan without seeking approval, and to pursue power without ever needing recognition. Concealment transforms you from a servant of your own emotions into a master of destiny. Those who learn to hide their true selves become untouchable, moving through the world unseen, shaping outcomes without ever leaving a trace. Machiavelli's greatest lesson is this: to reveal nothing is to control everything. By masking your intentions, you become both feared and underestimated. And in the shadows, where no one sees your hand, the greatest victories are won.